Hello, you're listening to CentralCoastRadio.com. I'm your host Kyle, and I'd like to talk about a recent play that I just saw that is currently playing. It's called The Jasmine Suite, and, well, in a sparsely decorated hotel room in Prague, dubbed the Jasmine Suite for its Egyptian motif, a man wanders back and forth, trying to keep himself busy, waiting for the next part of the game to begin. And just then, a woman bursts in, bleeding from a gunshot to her arm. It looks like the game has suddenly taken a very real turn. Now, Richard, played by James Weir, and Catherine, played by Amelia Nemeth, are a young couple who have been invited to Prague to take part in a revolutionary new real time, real life game of clandestine spy versus spy assassinations and general James Bond like stuff. Now, they've been given their dossiers, they have their target, and it's time to play assassins. Now, what harm could it possibly be? It's all a game, after all, an excuse for Richard and Catherine to put on funny accents and become somebody else for a little while. Somebody more exciting, perhaps. But when everything goes pear shaped, they begin to question just what kind of game they are playing. Maybe they've been playing a game of make believe their entire lives without knowing it, or rather, the game of life has been playing them. Now, this play is directed by Stephen T. Boltz, and it's a stylish new play from playwright Michael Olson. It's presented by the Knack Theatre. Now, the Knack Theatre, they specialize in showcasing new and innovative and creative works by emerging artists. This play has actually been in the works for several years now. It's been going through various revisions, and it's had a few different crew changes. The director, Stephen T. Boltz, I believe, actually took over about 2 weeks in the auditions or rehearsals. But I mean, it's finally showtime now, and the show can be enjoyed by people. Now, as I saw it, at the heart of this play, it's a story of two people that are lying about who they are and what they mean to each other. As Catherine puts it, life can only be lived forwards but understood backwards. And as we introduce these characters, it's at the end of a series of mistakes and bad decisions which have led them to this point. Uh, I hesitate to use the word Tarantino-esque to describe the Jasmine Suite, but uh, Quentin Tarantino's influence can definitely be felt in the style of the play and even the music that plays during it. Um, it's not at all unpleasant. Far from it. It gives the play a refreshing narrative twist in that the story plays out in reverse, and we get to see the events which led up to this botched quote unquote game. Now, with each scene, we get to see a little bit more of we get a little bit more of an understanding of what's driving these two, and a little bit more of the mystery is revealed. Now, simple but effective lighting effects by Tobin Varley, they really highlight the changing of the timelines in ways that can be immediately appreciated, and we get to see the disheveled, lived-in hotel room as we know it from one scene is then cleaned up in between scenes, and then we get to see it become disheveled again, as we see an earlier timeline of the character's night play out. And it's an effect that is fairly simple, but I'm surprised that I haven't actually seen it done before. I actually really appreciated that. Um, it's a very tight two-hander play. So the story can be really built around the relationship of its two lead characters. Rich and Catherine are they're fascinating characters for how they both find themselves falling into their make believe personas. The even when everything is falling down around them, maybe as a way to cope with what's going on. But then later in the play, earlier in the night, um, we get to see them, and we get to see that they've pretty much always been playing pretend. They've always been putting on an act when dealing with each other. Weir is he's great as the childish and foolish Richard, or the Ricardo, the suave former gang member that he likes to play as. He puts on this accent and all that. But throughout the story, we get to see the character of Richard. He wants to play this game, but only really to boost his own ego. And when it appears Catherine will actually be playing the shooter in this little game of assassins, he doesn't want to do it. I mean, he doesn't want it to play out that way, but it seems like it's only just because he wants to switch so that he has the more masculine role. He doesn't want to be the diversion. He wants to be the guy pulling the trigger. But little does he know that, and it's pretty clear for the audience to see, that Catherine actually has him wrapped around her little finger. Nemeth makes quite a powerful femme fatale, and we get to see that even when Catherine breaks character, it's to suit her own ends. Um, Actress Bridget Morrison is actually going to be playing the role on the July 1st matinee, and she's going to be playing the role on the 5th as well. But I mean, if she's half as good in the role as Nemeth is, it might make the worth it might make the show actually worth seeing twice, just to see two different takes on this same character. Um, it's a really exciting and thought provoking play. The Jasmine Suite, it explores the possible results when people refuse to interact with each other in a meaningful way. And I think it features well rounded characters and a script full of twists and turns, which encourages introspection. Um, I think at the end of the play, you'll be left asking yourself, have I been stuck playing pretend in my own way? Now, the Jasmine Suite is currently playing at Club Voltaire in North Melbourne, and it's going to be there until July 8th. For tickets and showtime and future shows by the Knack Theatre, you'll just have to go to thenactheatre.com. That's Knack with a K, theatre.com. And yeah, go check it out. I quite enjoyed this little play. You're listening to centralcoastradio.com, and we will be back right after this.